Hello students, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to study population interaction, one topic competition. It is our last unit of 12th class ecology in that population topic, okay? So we are discussing competition. Competition is an interaction in which both species are not benefited. It is minus minus. It is also described as minus minus. So when Darwin was talking about struggle for existence and survival of fittest, he knew that interspecific competition is very potent force for organic evolution. Generally, we believe that competition occurs when closely related species compete for the same resources and that resource is always limited. But this is not entirely true. Sometimes what happens, unrelated species, they are competing for same food. For example, in shallow South America lake, visiting flamingo, the flamingos which are coming from outside and the resident fish which are living there, they are competing for same food, that is zooplankton. So it is not always closely related, sometimes unrelated species, they can also compete for same food. Next is sometimes resources are not limiting. No problem with the resources is abundant, but then also what happened, the feeding efficiency of one species might be reduced due to interfering and inhibitory presence of other species even though resources are abundant. We say such type of competition as interference competition. So we can say competition is a process in which fitness of one species is lower in the due to the presence of another species. And fitness means in terms of R, and R means intrinsic rate of natural increase. Now, competitive exclusion. Gauss has given this, okay, and he says that two closely related species, if they are competing for the same resource, they cannot coexist indefinitely, and the inferior one will be eliminated eventually. This can be true if resources are limiting, but not otherwise. It is easily demonstrated in the lab. He has done this work in the lab and he has done on paramecium, and he told when resources are limited, the superior species will eventually eliminate the other species. Now see this. This is paramecium, two species we are taking. One is Caugetum, one is Aurelia. And we are finding when they are growing alone, they are able to grow to their maximum. But when they are in mixed culture, you are finding Aurelia is not allowing Paramecium caudatum to grow. So this experiment, which is of Gauss competitive exclusion, worked in the lab on Paramecium. He found that two species, Aurelia and caudatum, they are able to flourish alone, but when we are keeping them in mixture, superior species, Aurelia, is eliminating the inferior one. But such evidences of occurring in nature is not always seen, but we have observed it also. Some cases we have seen it. Avingdon tortoise in Galapagos Island, they become extinct within a decade after the goat were introduced. Why? Because of the greater browsing efficiency of the goats. So competitive exclusion principle given by the Gauss. I hope so this is clear. See next, competitive release. According to this, suppose one species is there, it is restricted to a small geographical area. It is not able to move because of the presence of competitive superior species. And if suppose this superior species we remove, then we find that a species now is able to expand, is found to expand its range when the superior species is experimentally removed. Cornell has done the work on the rocky sea coast of the Scotland, and he found that two types of barnacles are there. See the diagram. Two types of barnacles are there. One is Balanus. You can see here, one is Cathalmus. Balanus is generally seen in the intertidal area. It is dominating this area. The Balanus is dominating the intertidal area and Cathalmus is only up till here. Okay, though they can spread, cathylamous can spread down, but it is not able to spread because dominating is balanus. Now, if suppose we remove the balanus, if suppose balanus is removed, then we are finding this cathylamous is able to spread. You can see it is able to spread, means this is the area where they can grow up to this much area they can spread. So this was their fundamental Nike, means this is the area where they can spread up to this much function they can do. But in reality, they were only restricted to this area. That is why this is realized Nike. So what they found that large and competitive superior barnacle, please learn superior barnacle balanus, okay? It dominates the intertidal area and exclude the small barnacle cathylamous from that zone. They were not able to come. But when we remove the balanus, then we are finding cathylamous is able to spread. So it's found to expand when superior was removed. Next, what we find कि herbivores and plants, they are more affected by competition than carnivore. Now, according to the Gauss, superior will eliminate the inferior one. Completely, it will eliminate. Means, according to the Gauss, when two closely related species, when they are competing for same resource, they cannot coexist indefinitely. And inferior one will be eventually eliminated only. Now, most recent studies, what they believe, instead of co-extinction, they believe in co-evolution. They say, yes, intraspecific competition will be there. And they are now promoting coexistence rather than exclusion. And how? By doing resource partitioning. If two species, they compete for same resource, then they can avoid competition by choosing different feeding patterns. For example, MacArthur has observed that 5 species, closely related species of warbler, they are able to live on the same tree and they avoid competition by doing the behavioral difference in the foraging activities. This is a diagram of MacArthur. What he studied 5 species of warbler and he found that they are avoiding competition and they are showing coexistence, not exclusion. Please focus. They are showing coexistence by doing resource partitioning. So I hope so this video might be helpful because in the NCERT, it is given entirely in paragraph form. I've made it in the point along with the diagram I tried to explain you. I hope so this video might be helpful for you. Thanks for watching.